Hey peeps, happy Friday. I'm always so happy to do Fuck It Bucket Fridays because it's always Friday. So this week what goes in the bucket is all of those things that really seem to matter until we experience grief, loss, and all the other things that suck. And I think it's a time for us to grow a bigger bucket. So the Fuck It bucket is where you put all the drains and distractions and the rules that no longer serve us. And it's when we are experiencing grief and loss that we get to throw more in the bucket because we gain perspective and we sort of just figure out what matters and what doesn't. And I really want people experiencing grief and loss to have permission to grow a bigger bucket. So I would say in the last few weeks, I have heard of more stories of grief and loss than probably any other time in my life. I have an extended family member who lost her fiance. I have a friend who lost her beagle of, I think, 17 years, Sissy. I have a friend who's just now grieving her parents' divorce. That was 20 years ago. I have a client that I'm working with on the East Coast who finally signed the divorce papers and got out of a really tough situation, but is grieving the dream, grieving the man even though her divorce is the best thing for her. So grief and loss comes in so many forms. And I think that that's when we get to throw even more in the bucket. So I made a list because grief and loss makes me really emotional, obviously, because it's grief and loss, but just because I'm so touched by so many losses that are around me that I didn't want to forget what I wanted to tell you. So I think you get to do things half-assed when you're in grief and loss. I think you get to call it in for a while, and I think that's perfectly okay. I guess you get to take care of yourself how you can take care of yourself best. I think you need food, water, shelter, and people. If you can just figure those pieces out and let the other things fall into place in time, one foot in front of another, I think is what Alicia says. I think you get to RSVP no to everything for as long as you want in grief and loss, because grief and loss will come in waves for such a long time that it's not like a 3-month, 6-month, even 3-year thing. When you have lost something that was such a big part of your heart and soul, you get to have a moment when you're 99 years old that you are grieving and you want to leave the dishes in the sink and you want to call it in and you want to do it half-assed. You get to. And I think the two last important things about growing a bigger bucket in grief and loss and other things that suck is you get to get rid of people pleasing. This is the perfect opportunity for you to practice and get rid of people pleasing because fuck it. And also, God, saying fuck it made me emotional right there. I think you get to ask for and to receive help. That's really all you have to do. And other than that, I figure have a bucket the size of the Grand Canyon and really just hold on to the food, water, shelter, the people, the connectedness. Get good sleep, move your body, get some sunshine, but everything else goes in the bucket. Okay, peeps, I love you. Happy Friday. Bye.